What's up, everybody? It's Sam back again every day in February in honor of Black History Month. I'm pulling a card from the Knowledge Cards Civil Rights Movement deck, seeing what we see, some things we already kind of knew, some things we're learning more about, and some things we had no idea about. And it's a learning process, and that's what it's all about. And as I stated before, Black History Month is not nearly enough time to go into everything, and it should be integrated into regular history and sociology and all that kind of stuff, as well as what we deem critical race theory. It shouldn't be something separately taught. It should be integrated into the curriculum. And I did mention yesterday as well that the Oakland public schools are fairly segregated by neighborhood, and it's more of a class thing, but it kind of breaks down to a racial divide. 18 schools are subject to close, and they're predominantly black schools. So there's going to be a rally today at Frank Ogawa Plaza. So I hope you can attend to support the public schools from closing, or at least do it in an even way. So, it's not only the black schools in predominantly poor neighborhoods as well. So we're going to get back to it. It's February 4th. Let's check out what card we're going to get. Now, you're going to have to bear with me because I did forget my reading glasses. Oh, and different kind of setting, right? Looks a little different around here. Well, this is the Viral Media Network Studios. Welcome aboard. I just was shooting the last videos from my house. You'll see sometimes my podcast interviews are from the house because the internet is shit here. So if I'm doing an in-person interview, I'll do it here. But if it's online through Zoom or whatever, it will be at my house. I'm working on the internet here to do better. But anyways, February 4th. Here is today's card. Segregation. Although legal segregation was confined to the 11 states of the former Confederacy, as well as Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. Okay, so that's not just the 11 states of the Confederacy. That's a lot more. Oklahoma, let's read that again. Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. Washington, D.C. was fucking segregated, okay? Excuse my French. All right, that's just like in our nation's capital. During World War I, the armed forces were segregated. Blacks held service positions rather than leadership or combat positions. But in World War II, African Americans were no longer willing to accept segregated or discriminatory conditions. A threatened march on Washington in 1941 led to Franklin Delano Roosevelt's executive order prohibiting discrimination in the defense industries in 1948. The armed forces were desegregated. So think about that. So in 1941 is when it started to, black servicemen and, black army men or people who wanted to serve, probably too, were, mustering up some time to protest. And it wasn't desegregated until 1948. But it finally did. Moreover, African Americans' service and sacrifice in the war effort began heightened resistance to segregation once the war ended, when blacks returned to civilian life to find that they could not buy a simple Coca-Cola at a machine such as the one in the photograph because of the color of their skin. So, that's pretty ironic. You go and serve for your country, you go defend, the freedom and help fight against Mussolini, Hitler, the Japanese, these dictators. I'm not saying the Japanese people and the German people and the Italian people, but the dictators that wanted to take over the world and defending freedom, so to speak. I'm not going to get into all of that back and forth, but anyways, defending and serving your country, and then you get back and you can't buy a Coke on the street because it's not in the colored section. It's in the segregated section. So one of the cards we drew yesterday was about Thurgood Marshall in the court for desegregating law schools and colleges, right? And that led to the Brown versus Board of Education, eventually in the grade and public schools, right? So that was private college institutions, upper college, which was completely separate at the time, not connected at all, right? And that led. So this segregation in the Army and eventually getting it desegregated led to more and more ground swelling for complete desegregation. Well, that's the card of the day from the Civil Rights Movement Knowledge Cards put out by the Library of Congress. We thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow, February 5th, for another deck. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. Whether you're your friends or strangers, we all need to get along in this world. And whether you disagree with them or agree with them on any viewpoint, we all got to live together. So let's be kind to one another. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment below on what you think. Have I totally missed the mark? I'm learning. That's why I'm doing this. It's a part of growing. And like I said, I learned some of this in school. Some of this I didn't learn. And I could always learn more about the things that I learned in school because, like I said yesterday, it only scratched the surface, being in the public education system. So we thank you on this journey, and we'll see you next time.